Okay, and that is a wrap on that episode. That was one of the best episodes we've ever recorded. I am just so proud of that. Great
What are you talking
job.
about?
High fives across the board. The last 2 hours that we've been recording and talking about, I mean, we cried. Tears were shed.
Well, that's how I know you're lying. You don't cry, John,
That's
unless you're like blacked out drunk.
You've never seen me blacked out drunk.
I haven't, but I've heard a
All of
story of
your
when you were real
stories,
drunk.
yeah, all of your stories are hearsay.
Are they?
Fine, fine. No, that yeah, what? I don't even know. I'm confused. I'm in a bit of a fog. All right, I woke
You
up in a
see,
dead sweat last night
dear
with
God.
"Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses playing in my
Oh,
head.
welcome to the jungle. Is
For
that
real,
your
it
life?
was one of the most bizarre experiences. I woke up. This was at like 5 in the morning. Right, I went to bed at like
Mm-hmm.
1 last night, 1 or 1:32, somewhere in that range. But I woke up at around 5. I remember because I looked over at the clock because I woke up and I just heard "Welcome to the Jungle" it playing in my head, and I was
Like this
like,
isn't like real life. This is just in your head.
"Yeah, no," like
Oh,
legitimately, I just had a song that was stuck in my head, and it was like just playing. It was like the whole song too. I was just sitting there going, "I mean, I like this song, but now is not the time. Now is not the time for this song to be playing right now." And I could not stop it. I couldn't stop the song, and I couldn't go back to sleep because it was playing in my head. And
I
I
just don't think
I
you were
couldn't
trying
figure out
hard
what to
enough,
do. I
man.
was like, "I have to go to sleep. I have so much I have to do today."
So you were trying to go back to sleep, but your brain kept playing "Welcome to the Jungle" instead.
Yeah, not just like the opening part. I mean, I'm talking like the whole song. I was
Oh,
getting into the guitar solo that's like halfway through it, but I was
I don't
just
think.
laying in bed going, "This what's happening to me?
I
I
think
don't
your
know what's
brain was
going
just getting
on."
you ready for the day, man.
I mean, it's very possible. I think I overstimulated myself before I went to bed because I like watched oh man, I don't even know. I watched some like YouTube stuff while I was
Mm-hmm.
playing some video games and
As one
then,
does.
and then like listened to some music and then went to sleep. And I guess that was too much. That was too it
Do
was
you
too
not
close to
usually
bed.
do that?
I try not to because everybody says that like blue light and stuff is it messes with your sleep patterns.
Do you have blue light glasses?
No, I don't have any glasses because I am an Adonis.
Pathetic.
An Adonis is a good thing.
Okay,
Do
explain
we have to
explain
do I have to
yourself.
bring back word of the week?
No, no, because every time you bring up something new, it always ends by like the next episode because you suck.
Oh, well, maybe I was wrong about this.
About Adonis?
Uh, I've been using this wrong for a very long time, I think.
Oh no. Who is
I mean,
Adonis?
I guess it kind of works. All right, it was a youth that was loved by Aphrodite, killed by a wild boar, and then restored to life.
Mhm.
I think the way that I've been using it in real life is like a perfect individual.
Okay.
Uh,
Are you maybe referring to a different person? Or did you, in your brain, you just thought Adonis was the perfect individual? Or like, in
I don't
was
know.
there
I
like
don't
somebody else you were
know.
trying to reference?
I don't know where I got this from. Then I guess
Oh, well, that's
you might
pathetic.
secretly think your good-looking neighbor as a young Adonis, just basically a handsome person.
Oh, so you're just saying that you're handsome, not that you're
That
perfect. Got it.
not was what I. That was definitely not what I meant.
But that's what you said.
Right, right. I would like to issue a formal correction for
How
the
many people have you said that to?
erroneous. I've been saying that my whole life.
John.
Not referring to myself, of course, but this context in my head of what an Adonis is.
Mhm.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger during his peak, right? That would be
Yeah.
like an Adonis. But
Okay.
what I thought that meant was more like they are pristine in every way, which
Okay.
would
Who
include
who
eyesight.
who would you how do I say this? Who would you consider an Adonis by your before definition?
Before Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, well, not now, but he's kind of old now.
Yeah.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger, like 40 years ago, would
Perfection?
would probably. Well, I mean, you do kind of have to get past the rah, You got to understand him. So
That's what makes him special. That's what
that's
makes him
true.
so
That's
good.
true. That does, I don't think that actually takes away from the Adonis side of things.
Yeah, I can agree to
Um,
that.
Trying to think who else. I'm locked in on the Arnie. That's about all I can
Who
think
can
of right
I
now.
say? I mean, who's somebody who's? I guess in this sense we could say that they're untouchable
Yeah, I
in a
guess. Or if they
metaphorical
have really good
sense.
eyesight,
Oh, well, that
like
takes
me.
a lot of people off the list. So, like Billy Mays, right? Would he
Uh,
be an Adonis?
no, 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 not at all.
For why? Is it because he's
Um,
dead?
no. You can be an Adonis and be dead. I mean, Adonis is an Adonis, and he died, 2,000 years ago.
He did die and then he came back. That's right.
Hold on, I'm looking up. I'm looking up an image. I mean, I'm guessing we have to base this purely off of the looks because I don't know like personality. I don't think matters.
Wait, so now we're doing just like, oh, they were young and strapping feller.
I guess so. I mean, Billy Mays is pretty strapping.
Okay, so maybe not Bill.
I
All the
like,
people I'm
like I
thinking
said,
of
I
are
don't
like
think I don't.
adults.
Yeah, I don't think Adonis is like only referring to the physical sense.
Hmm.
I thought it would refer to like everything. You have like 20/20 vision. You know, 0.8
Oh.
percent body fat or whatever.
Hmm.
6 feet tall, blue eyes, blonde hair,
No, let's not do this.
part of the Reich. No, I'm kidding.
Dear God, I hate you.
It's called the Ubermensch. All right,
Uh
that's
huh.
uh, that's what I was looking for. The Ubermensch.
Got it. I've never been to Uvujavar.
Ah, I see. I see. That's right. Oh boy. Well, that's the podcast, everybody. Thanks for listening. We made it through 7 whole minutes. I talked about a nightmare. We're trying to respect everyone's time.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Let's be honest.
I mean, there has been an important event that occurred, but you shot me
Hmm.
down almost instantly when I
No,
thought,
go for it.
"Oh, really? You give me permission to go off?
Do what you got to do. I just think it's controversial how soon it's happening. But I
How
mean,
soon it's
we
happening?
or
Did it
not soon it's
happen?
happening. How recent it happened. Whatever.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
this is 4 days post Super November, Super Tuesday
Hmm.
of the 2024 American election cycle. Things have happened. The world,
Ooh, America.
the world turns.
Is that it? Is there anything else?
I don't like to get into special details, but yeah. Donald Trump has taken a second term. Theoretically, I mean, I last time I
Theoretically,
remember there
yeah.
was a lot of suing going on before eventually it got called, but it seems like it's just been called.
Yeah, I know some people I have talked to have also said that like we still haven't gotten all the votes in yet.
True.
So they
Yeah.
can't officially call it because that's the same thing that happened last time. Uh was it was called, but there were still more votes coming in before it was like official. Oh, this is who won the election type stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's still going on. I don't know how long that's gonna be at all.
Yeah. We're notoriously. This is we're not very well informed.
Yeah, America's America. Let's just say that.
America.
I don't think you can finish
Look,
the rest of
on the
that.
bright side, there have not been any riots, to my knowledge.
Yeah, so far.
I don't know what happened because it was like all I remember from the last like 2 election cycles is there was a lot of chatter online about how the
Hmm.
world is ending. I've not seen a lot of world-ending chatter this time around. I don't know
I
what
mean, one
changed.
thing that is kind of odd is ever since like they said, "Oh, Donald Trump won," nobody's really been saying anything like political, like the political people, because like in previous elections, everybody was there was a lot going on. Let's just say that,
Right?
like January 6th happened.
Yep. Yep.
Um, there was talks of cheating and things like that. This time, it's just quiet, and that scares me.
Oh, I. Technically, nothing happens for like 72 days or something like that.
I mean, theoretically, yeah. I don't know. It's just weird to have people who talk so much to not talk at all.
Very
And not even
poetic.
like celebration type shit.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I mean, I figured if anybody would have a celebration of being, inaugurated, it would be Donald Trump.
Right. I mean, he did have, like, a thing on the night. It wasn't really a party, I guess, so much as he came out and gave a speech.
Yeah, but that
I
was
tell you
it.
what, though, did you actually watch any of the, like did you watch it live or anything, or just hear about it, like, the next day?
Oh no, I was watching it live. I was sitting on my phone and I had it. No, I had it on my laptop and I was just refreshing, like every 10 seconds.
Refresh what do you mean refreshing? Like, do you have, like, the Google results up?
Yeah,
Oh, I see, I see.
because I noticed that if you're like depending on where you're looking at it, you're gonna see different results or see results be a little late compared to the Google ones. So I just
Oh,
kind of
okay.
stuck with that. And there were a lot of people saying that a lot of like news stations were kind of like hiding information that were biased towards like the party that they swung more towards. And they wouldn't
Yeah,
like
that's the
have
official
updated
narrative for
stuff.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. So then I just stuck with Google because that was the fastest updating thing that I found.
I did see Google as well. I was browsing various, like I guess there would be YouTube channels of
Mm,
news organizations to try and just find one that I, liked,
mm,
that, I was able to understand what was going on. Um, and the one that I ended up settling on, which I think is one of those that probably what you were talking about, where it's like people were accusing them of being biased or whatever.
yeah.
But I just was watching on NBC.
Mm.
It's like, and I'm pretty sure that's part of that group that has been burned. I guess everybody except for Fox has pretty much been burned.
I mean, I think everybody. I think they've all been burned out at this point. I don't think there's any, if at all, like a news stations that are completely unbiased.
I mean, yeah, I think that's fair. I was legitimately looking at the NBC one, going, I'm pretty sure that this is one that has been identified as being like super left
I got you.
left wing. Wow, I literally can't get this out.
Left wing leaning.
Thank you. Yes, yes. But I was like, I need to just have an open mind, right? They say to watch across the spectrum. Don't just pick one. Watch everything. And as someone that
Actually,
doesn't
actually.
really watch news channels in general, I didn't really know what to expect. Surprisingly, a lot more ads than I would have liked.
Hmm.
But, I guess that's just America at this point.
Yeah,
They're like, we're going to cut
yeah.
away from the important, world altering events that you see in front of you to talk about Arby's. They have the meats, didn't you know?
It's always Arby's. Why
I'm
is
like,
it always Arby's?
what are y'all doing right now? Like,
What are you doing? I don't know.
that's why I had them. And then I think the other one that I had pulled up was like AP News, or I
Hmm.
think it was AP News. Just because I was like, these people have to be the most. I mean, there was no commentary. So I was like, this has to be just the most, like, raw interpretation. Because it
Yeah.
was like it was one live stream, but it was four sources. So it was like, I think it was a live camera in the Trump rally. It was a live camera in the Harris rally.
Hmm.
And then there were two more that I don't remember what they were. One might have just been like the Google election, results or whatever.
Oh yeah, maybe.
But it was
I
just
say that like
blown
I
up
know.
with all these people in like the chat. And it's
Hmm.
like, all right, well, these, it seems to be the right place to be. Really, my goal was to find whatever source had the most people watching.
Yeah.
It's like, this has to be at least where I should be, just because, that way I'll be in the know with all these people.
Excuse me. I got you. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I did kind of want to avoid it,
Hmm.
but I feel like I'm at an age where I should be. I wouldn't say like
Politically active.
embracing it, but like I
Aw.
should know. I should know what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
Like
It does
I went and I
directly impact
voted.
all of us now.
Yeah, like I went and I voted. All that stuff. Like I'm not. I'm at an
Hell
age
yeah.
where if I'm gonna be ignorant, that's like being willfully ignorant, and that's part of the problem in
Right. Yep.
America.
Yep.
Uh, but I don't want to get too much into that right now. But
You don't
yeah,
want to go off on all the people that didn't show up to vote.
No, it's okay. I because we are so are we we're like I don't even know. What
Get
are we?
mad, man. Get mad. Fight them.
No, it's okay. I don't need to do that right now. I'm already severely overwhelmed with everything.
That's fair.
Uh,
That is more
but
than
yeah, I
fair.
don't know. I mean, just as a basis, I guess this is all I will say is it's become a privilege. Obviously it's a privilege to vote
Right,
because a
right.
lot of people don't have that privilege, but it's also a privilege to have the opportunity to vote and not for whatever your reason is.
True.
And I'd say it's a wasted privilege at that point
Yeah.
because
I mean, not a lot of
so
people
many
get
people
that.
would love to be in that position that you're in, and you're not taking that opportunity to make a difference with it.
Go.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Here, here. Here,
Here.
here.
But yeah, and that's like regardless of where your vote goes. Like, and I think that is just I don't know. I also come from a very underprivileged background. Um, come from an impoverished background. Seen some things, lived through some things.
Yep,
So like,
yep.
I guess I'm just a lot more appreciative of the opportunities that I have with a lot of things.
Nice. Yeah.
And then other people, if it's the norm for them, it's almost like they're taking it for granted but to them that's just a day in their life. It's not like something crazy for them to think about or do. It's just like whatever.
True. I think a lot of people have sort of bought into that disenfranchised, like, my vote doesn't matter. That's what the electoral college is for.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I used to think like that too. I mean, as a I can't say kid because I was an adult, but I was like a young adult, like fresh out of high school, like adult. I was like, I don't really get into politics. Politics are stupid.
Hmm.
It doesn't really involve me. And then as time went on, I realized, oh no, this heavily involves me and my lifestyle, my life choices, and things like that.
Sure. Yeah.
So definitely should at least be sitting here getting informed at the very least of what's going on, because
Yeah. Most definitely.
I can't say I'm the most politically active person at all for sure. But I know enough to be like, okay, I don't really align with these things with this person. I don't align with these things for that person. You know?
Did you get to watch any of, like, the debates earlier?
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
Again, I kind of removed myself from that out of being trying to be ignorant, and now
Ah.
look at us. So I'm saying this from a lot of experience. Again, I grew up thinking that politics were stupid and I didn't need to be involved with them because, again, I did believe that my vote didn't matter. Especially after
Mm.
some elections that happened where like the popular vote was not the same as like the electoral college vote kind of thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so then I was like, well, then what's the point of voting? But I don't know. Because another thing that is important that I think, especially for this election, was at least in Texas, because that's where we are, is it wasn't just a presidential election, but we were also voting for like senators and governors and stuff, like
Yeah.
our local
The
state
governor
stuff.
was up for it.
Yeah, and so that was a big one that I wanted to vote for as well.
I
But
was actually genuinely surprised that there was literally, from what I saw, there was no change. That
yeah,
not one person that was like up. I didn't like read all of them and really even know who most of those people that were on the ballot were.
hmm
But like from what I saw, ballot to like election, I think it was maybe a week or two between when I voted and when I actually got to watch it go down. There's like no
hmm
change. No incumbents got changed. It's like, oh, all right. I guess
yeah.
anybody that voted for that was just washed.
There was one person, uh, I think she was a third party candidate. And there were some people who voted for her, who were voting for her, right? And then I think a day or two before, like election day, she decided to change her vice president. And in some states, I don't remember if it was Iowa or Ohio,
Mm.
but in at least one state, basically anybody who voted for her, their vote was now null and void because she changed vice
Oh,
presidents.
wow.
Uh, and so that also kind of had me like, dang, what, why? You know,
Yeah. I
because a
mean,
lot of
the
people early
machine.
voted.
Oh, true. Yeah.
A lot of people early vote. And so for a lot of those people who did that and they may have voted for her, now their vote didn't even matter at all.
Yeah. I think that means they just had to re-vote or resubmit their vote.
I
But
mean, if
that's such a
they're able
pain.
to,
Yeah,
I think a
exactly.
lot of
Yeah.
people, they early vote because either they just don't have time or it's just better for them. Because on election day, uh, there here in Texas, I knew people who were still in line to vote after the polls closed, and they didn't
Really?
like get a
Wow.
chance to vote until like 10 o'clock.
Go.
Yeah,
Well, they called it. I think when did they call it? It was like around 11 or midnight.
yeah, no, it was crazy that a lot of things. I mean, and again, uh, it's one of those things where it's like majority rule type shit. Uh,
True. Yeah.
but
They
like,
crossed that threshold barrier.
yeah, but a lot of them when they got called, it was like only maybe 50% had voted.
Yeah. Well, they like at least the one that I was watching. I'm actually really fascinated, especially with the NBC one, and I'm
Hmm.
guessing all of them had this, but they had like a uh digital kind of video wall screen that
Hmm.
had all of the information from like the past three. I guess it was the last three that they were referencing. I think they went back to maybe it was Obama. I think was how far the like data went back. At least that they were showing us.
Hmm.
But they were like they could pull up individual uh uh not states, counties within the states and be like, this is how they voted this last election and the election before that and the election before that.
Oh yeah.
And they had all the numbers and everything. And I was like, who is this accessible information for everybody? Because this seems awesome.
Ooh, interesting. Noted.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm looking at some results and stuff right now. But I know like after everything happened, you're able to see like the demographics of who voted for who.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as a black person, I'm a black person. If you didn't know,
Shocker.
um, a lot of people tend to blame black people for a lot of things.
I don't think y'all
Um,
got it this time around.
that's the thing. That's the thing. But we still get blamed for a lot of it. But I know this
Oh,
time around, because a lot of people who voted Democrat are blaming the Latino community. And
right,
of
right.
course, they're defending themselves like, "Why are you guys blaming us?" Blah 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 blah. And a lot of them are shifting the blame to black people. Because again, we're always the
Classic.
scapegoats,
Uh-huh.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if you look at like the exit poll, what's it called? Like statistics,
Mm-hmm.
the black people. Let's see. Is this what is this? Is it by gender, race? Anyways, black people voted about 85% blue. 86% blue,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the same amount that voted blue last election.
Yeah. I think there were just more people that voted this time around.
Yeah, no, actually, there was less people that voted this time around.
Like
The,
overall?
yeah, that's one of the
Really?
biggest things that people are like talking about controversially is that there was a 20 million voter difference between last year's election and any other election in the last like 20 years. Because
Interesting.
I know a lot of people were saying like the last election was rigged, and I think it was like 80 million people had voted last year. But
Yeah.
this year and the Obama terms and the Bush terms, it was only 60 million people that voted.
Interesting.
So a
I
lot of
wonder why
people
that
are
is.
like, yeah, a lot of people are saying that the elections are rigged and things like that. Um, excuse me. So it's an interesting thing to look at for sure.
Yeah. I think I was saying earlier how I well maybe I don't know. I'll just say it again if I didn't where it felt like there was a lot more end of the world after Trump won the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anything like that online now.
Yeah.
All,
Well,
all, all I see online, maybe it's because it's like internet people, and the internet people are like far more outspoken and wild and more wild than they would be in person. But
no,
it
I I,
just
I would.
sounds like a lot more like
Mhm.
yeah, less. This is the end versus like, well, we know what we're in for this time.
Well, I will say that that's because a lot of the voices that would be saying things like that are being silenced right now.
Oh, you think so?
Unfortunately. Oh,
Mm.
I've seen it happen.
Like
Unfortunately.
like where? Like are you talking about like on
Like the
Twitter or
interwebs
X?
for sure. On X, a lot of people have deleted their accounts. They've gotten off of X entirely. Actually,
Oh, really?
and they're
I
going
have
to
seen
other
people go into, like,
places.
yeah, like,
Blue Sky, I think,
Blue
is what it's
Sky, yeah, yeah,
called.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, but like I've seen quite a bit of things of just uh it's an interesting thing the way that people are not even reacting, but the way that they're acting after this election, because a lot of people are showing who they really are.
Mm.
Um, they don't really have a mask on or anything, you know.
Oh.
Not like a physical mask, but you know,
Yeah,
like
well, they're not
they're not.
purging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not like purging. Like they're showing their true colors type shit. And it's a lot of men, unfortunately, but
Mm.
that's not surprising either. But like, because I know the biggest thing with this election and everything has been, you know, like uh abortion laws and bodily autonomy and things like that.
Oh, true,
And
yeah.
a lot of, you know, a lot of women are saying like it's my body, my choice. You know, that's their biggest thing. And then people who are against her are like, okay, but what about the baby type shit? You know,
Right.
and the baby's
Ooh,
line.
damn, we getting into abortion topics? This
I guess
hot topics. All right, this is a hot pod.
here we are now. I guess. Um, but the thing about it is, I've seen quite a lot of people who voted against abortion who are saying like, "What about the baby? You know, the babies, the lives matter." Blah blah blah. A lot of them
Mhm.
are saying things like, "It's your body, but it's my choice." Or like you, a lot of there's a movement that's kind of stirring right now called the 4B movement, which is basically women abstaining from having sex with men,
You say
specifically
for beam?
4B. Yeah, it
Oh, for
started in
B?
Korea, and it happened. I don't remember
Oh.
exactly what it was, but basically, the movement was to refrain from having sex with men until they get the rights that they deserve, type shit. Um, excuse me. And so, because of that, that's why Korea's population started going down because women stopped giving birth.
Ah, during the late 2010s, I see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the whole thing with that was, uh, the whole thing with that is like they don't want women to have abortion, so then women are saying, okay, well, we're just not going to have sex, and the men are like, well, no, you can't do that, and even if you say no, I don't care. So a lot of people are reacting to it.
Interesting.
Uh, and that's like a really big thing that I've seen in the more recent days is people just kind of showing their true feelings about that and how abortion for a lot of people was not about, you know, saving the lives of children, but it was, you know, about controlling women and their bodies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that that uh oh God, what do you call it? Bill, I guess would be what it is, maybe
Mm,
passed, I think, in a lot of places. The only places that I saw that it failed, at least the one that I can think of off the top of my head, was in Florida.
mm,
And that was, I think, mainly just because they required a supermajority. So it wasn't a
yeah.
50-50, right? It wasn't a majority. It was like 60% of the people have to agree,
Mm,
which surprisingly didn't. It was
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you're able to. It feels a little unfair, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, just from a, a 50-50 standpoint. You're like, "Nah, nah, we go 60-40."
Mm.
Pad the stats just a little bit.
Excuse me.
Super majority. Uh, majority
I'll
vote
get
more
this
than half the
news.
votes. Common voting. Super majority can be specified using a fraction of the percentage. 3/5. Oh, the number comes back.
Hmm. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, Jesus. Okay, all right.
Well, that'll do
I'm gonna stop going
it.
down this rabbit hole. Yeah,
God damn.
I bet there's a graph or maybe a picture where all the places that it passed and failed are.
Yeah, we could
But
definitely
it
probably find it if we
seemed
look
like it
for it.
it passed in most places from what I saw.
Yeah, obviously you know where we live because it's the South. It's
True.
Texas.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
You know what I
it's.
found like really annoying. Well, I found myself growing more and more annoyed by it was
Mm-hmm,
because I've seen this, all the time where it's like, hey, if you don't like it, move. I'm like, are you
mm-hmm,
out of your mind? I am not I'm not moving. Are you serious? I'm gonna move from like this state that I live in to another state.
mm, mm.
That's just crazy. Like the people that
I
are like, "I'm gonna move
know.
to Canada." Like, no, you're not. You're not gonna go through that process. That is such a hassle.
Yeah, it's so hard to get visas these days,
For
and
real.
with
It's like
hell, it's about to be impossible for a lot of people.
yeah, and that's not even like a like 'cause I see people use that all the time where it's like, "Just move." Like, "Sure,
Mhm.
buddy. Sure."
Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Well, I was gonna say something. What was it? I forgot already,
In this
but it's
economy,
fine.
with these 15-year-old tires, I don't think so. I wouldn't make
Well,
it all the way past the Walmart.
I don't know how I would even get there. I don't have a car.
You
I
get a
got too much
bindle
stuff
and
to
just
carry.
start walking. Just you, a stick, and then a sack full of Dragon Ball figures.
You know, that sounds like the life to me, baby. No, I know another thing that's kind of been worrying a lot of people is, so you know how of course there's a lot of different bands going on and things that aren't going to be able to happen anymore or whatever. There's some things that are being in talks or that are in the works of, if you go to a different state to do something and you come back, you can still be tried as like a felon.
Oh, yeah. Like if you go get an abortion in a non, or if you are in a
Yes.
non-abortion and you go to an abortion state and then you come back. Yeah.
Yeah, you could get tried for it. Again, for murder. Or I feel like probably even if you go get some marijuana. Why is my brother calling me?
Get him on the
Hold on,
pod.
I gotta
Let's talk
answer
to him about
this.
abortion rights. All right, everybody. This is going to be our ad break moment.
Uh,
I'd like to talk to
Hello?
you about the Fast and the Furious
Hello.
franchise.
Are you at work? Are you busy?
Hey,
I
mute your
might be
mic,
recording
bro.
something real quick.
Mute your mic. All right. Well, I, I'm sure he's
Oh,
talking
hold
about the
on.
Fast and the Furious franchise too.
Yeah, we're talking about Fast.
So, yeah. So what I think, there you go. Now you muted his mic. This dude. Yeah. So the Fast and the Furious. Well, really, that's it's been a while since I've watched the Fast and the Furious. With Halloween just recently being over, I'd like to talk to you about all about our Lord and Savior horror movies, which isn't really our Lord and Savior. It's kind of the opposite of that. I often find that the longer that I go watching horror movies, the less I tend to really appreciate the art that goes into them. Mainly because most of them are really, really bad, and it's a real shame because I feel like there's I just don't get scared anymore. I don't even get jump scared. I'm just like, I think the last time I really got jump scared by a horror movie was in a movie theater. I think in order to be scared by a movie, this is a theory that I'm putting together. In order to be scared by a horror movie, you have to see it in a theater. I mean, you're not in a comfortable place. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, the chairs are comfortable, but you're not in a familiar place, right? That's the word that I'm looking for. You're not in a familiar place. So already your nerves are a little bit elevated. You're also surrounded by a bunch of people that you don't really know. Again, nerves are elevated. Sometimes you're a little bit cold because it gets a little bit chilly in those theaters. Again, nerves are elevated. Surround sound. You don't know where the creature's coming from. It could be coming from that back corner over there. Nerves elevated. This sounds like I'm about to pitch to you a shoe brand. Maybe this is are your nerves elevated? Walk on Air, the new Nike swooshes. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. I lost the one person that I could talk to about this. I cry. No, but yeah, so I'm actually not quite sure what I'm even talking about at this point. But all right, so horror movies. Here's what I should do. Is I should pull up a list of the movies that I've watched, stuff that I could recommend. Oh, yeah, because I'm a lot more passionate about the cool stuff than I am about the not cool stuff. I'm sure you're all at least vaguely familiar with the movie Midsummer. Came out a couple of years ago, A24. It was sort of groundbreaking. Found out it's not so groundbreaking. There was actually a movie from 1973, which I believe was a remake of a movie from the 40s called The Wicker Man. Really cool
The
movie.
Wicker Man.
It was, yeah, The Wicker Man. Oh, welcome back. It's sort of the
Hey.
same premise where it's like well,
Here,
it's
I
a
was gone for like
person.
the last like 3 minutes. Can you retell everything you just said?
Right. Well, I was talking about how I don't think horror movies scare me anymore. And I don't know if it's because of inundation, right? We just got out of Halloween. So I've
Hmm.
watched kind of a lot of horror movies. I tried every Halloween, every October, I try and watch horror
A
movies to
scary
try and
movie every day.
thematically focus. Yeah. My goal this last time was to watch 31 movies in 31 days. I didn't get there. I got, I think, 19. I think I managed to watch 19.
It's pretty good.
I mean, it's not a bad number. There were some real poopers in that group, but there were also some real winners. In particular, um, oh my God, it's called 1408. It's a Stephen King novel that was turned into a movie, and it was awesome. It was really actually it was unnerving, and that was probably the only one out of all of those that I was like, all right, this is good horror. The rest of it, right? Stuff like I watched The Purges. I
Hmm.
watched a couple of possession-based movies. I watched some goofy movies from the 80s. One
Goofy
about a
movie.
a killer spider, and a killer spar. A ki-
Hmm.
I'm dying, and a killer car, right? Arachnophobia and Christine. Those were great movies, not great horror movies.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I was just talking about The Wicker Man because I actually liked The Wicker Man a whole lot. I don't know if I liked it more than Midsummer,
Hmm.
but they're very similar. Right? The concepts are almost identical.
I don't think I've
Where
seen Midsummer.
you haven't seen Midsummer? You
I don't
definitely have
think
seen
so.
Midsummer.
I don't think so.
That's the one where like the like four people go to like like a ancient Nordic island or whatever and participate in their like May Day or whatever it is.
Midsummer. I remember hearing about it quite a bit.
Oh well, I don't want to spoil the ending for it, but
Oh
in
wait,
The
that came
Wicker
out this
Man,
year?
no.
Oh
It
no,
came out a
that's just
couple of
that's
years back.
hold on. I looked at Midsummer and it's giving me like the date of like the middle of the year.
Oh yeah, it's Somar.
Midsommar. 2019.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah. This was
Okay.
this is one of the last memories I have pre-COVID. 'Cause I think this movie came out like when did this come out?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen this one.
Damn. Well, you should watch it. It's pretty good.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
I mean, Ari Aster is one of the best horror filmmakers. He did Hereditary, if you've seen that.
Mm.
Another really that was one of the first movies that I was like, this is horror. This is like
Hereditary,
psychologically
like
damaging.
Hereditary, kind of messed me up a little bit.
Okay? So you have seen Hereditary?
Yeah, I watched that. I'm pretty sure I watched that with you and DJ.
That's very possible.
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah.
Scary movie. Yeah. But The Wicker Man is basically Midsummer. If instead of four people, it was like one person.
Mm.
Where it's sort of it's actually a really great plot as well. Where I think it's also based on a book because, nothing ever can be original these days
Of course
ever
not.
again.
Are you referring? Which one are you talking about?
A 73, not the original
Okay.
one.
Wait, is 73 not the original one?
73. Oh, maybe it is.
Because there's
Oh,
73 and there's
think, yeah.
2006.
I'm thinking of the 2006 one. I did not see the
Okay.
2006. I saw the 73 one.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was based on a novel from 1967 called The Ritual. Yeah. But it's a really cool movie because it's like this police officer gets like an anonymous letter that there's a missing girl on some
Mhm.
island that is owned by this like plantation dude basically.
Okay.
And so he like goes to investigate it and is like, "Have you seen this girl?" And everyone's like, "No, we haven't seen this girl." But there's like all these like crazy visual clues, right? Like they take a photo every year to celebrate the harvest, and this year's photo just happens to be missing. Oh my
Oh.
God, that's awesome! Describe it as the Citizen Kane of horror movies. I agree. It was an amazing movie. It was really well shot, really well acted. It was awesome. Yeah, I would highly recommend The Wicker Man from 1973. It
The Wicker
annoyingly kind
Man.
of just ends, uh, but I don't want to spoil the ending because there is a really big twist.
Mhm. It was me all along.
It was him all along. It's actually starring Christopher Lee. I don't know if you know who Christopher Lee is. He's a famous actor. He's a knight. He was Count
Christopher
Dooku
Lee.
in Star Wars.
Oh, I know Count Dooku.
Yeah, he
I
was also
see.
Saruman in Lord of the Rings, and he was
Oh.
famously Dracula for a long time.
Mhm.
That's actually something that I've been meaning to. Oh yeah, 7 Hammer horror films. One that I've been meaning to watch through, but jeez. He had a really long. He was awesome. He was also like a spec ops like spy in the First World War.
Oh,
Yeah,
like for real?
for real. Like
Oh,
yeah, he was actually I believe credited as one of the influences for the original James Bond. Like
that's pretty
the
sick.
character of James Bond, not like an actor. Though he
What?
did actually have a character in a James Bond movie.
Mhm. Oh, is that it?
Yeah. Christopher Lee's awesome. That was my rant about horror movies. I just don't feel like I get scared by him anymore. And but
Yeah.
I was theorizing. I mean, you'll have to go back and listen to it, but I was theorizing that maybe it's because I'm, watching it in my own home, with like the lights on,
A little desensitized to it.
a little desensitized after so long. And I was like, I kind of want to go see, but there weren't any good horror movies that came out, to my knowledge, this Halloween. It was like Smile 2 or
Yeah.
whatever, but
There's one that I know Chanel wants to go see. I
hmm,
don't think it's out yet. I think it's called Heretic.
Heretic. That does sound
Yeah.
promising.
We keep seeing commercials for it. Oh, it just came out yesterday actually. The
Oh.
synopsis is two young missionaries become ensnared in a deadly game of cat and mouse when they knock on the door of diabolical Mr. Reed. Trapped in his home, they must turn to their faith to make it out alive.
Ah, okay. Oh, religious horror with Hugh
Apparently.
Grant. I'm a big Hugh Grant fan.
Oh. But yeah, I know Chanel wants to go see this. Let's see what the Rotten Tomato says. It's got a
I mean,
93% and
really,
a 76 popular popcorn meter.
the popcorn
Excuse me.
meter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
actually quite proud of. So that I use the service Letterboxd for like
Yeah.
all of my movie stuff,
Hmm.
but it almost is never on. Right? It's always you look at something and it's like IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic. Those are like the top 3, and then I guess
Yeah.
Google users like this movie. But I have been seeing more and more places are referencing Letterboxd.
Hell yeah.
I
It's
think I
because of
think
you. You're
we're
bringing it
growing
back.
bigger. We definitely are growing bigger. These people are just a bunch of crazy film nerds, and I'm all
Hmm.
for it.
As are you.
Hey, I watch a lot of movies. I tell you what, it's called
Oh, I
Heretic.
know.
I'm trying to find it on here. It doesn't even pop up. There it is.
On Letterboxd? I mean, the movie just came out yesterday.
True. 3.6. Not bad. Out of 5. So that's like a 6.2,
What
7.2.
else is Hugh
That's pretty
Grant
good.
in?
Oh my, like a ton of stuff.
I know. That's what I'm saying. What else? Because
I think he
I know
was the
he's in a lot
lead
of
in
things.
D&D. No, he wasn't the lead. He was the villain in the D&D movie. That was
That's
pretty
Hugh
recent.
Grant?
Mhm.
Oh!
Oh,
Got
he
it.
was one of the villains, I guess.
No, I know who you're talking. He was the one who betrayed everybody.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And he's had a
No,
really
sir.
long
Spoiler
career.
alert.
Oh,
Speaking
man,
of D&D,
he's had a long time. Yeah. You got D&D news? In
no,
lighter
but I
news,
do
now that
have
we've moved off
monsters
of the
news.
election.
I do have a follow-up from the end of the last episode.
Oh, okay.
So, I had talked about my character Skeeter at the end of last episode. As of was it Thursday? As of Thursday night, Skeeter has officially been put to rest.
Damn, he got.
Oh, he got himself technically. Uh so pretty much what happened was, for my Dragon Ball fans out there, he pretty much did the final atonement that Majin Vegeta does, but instead of exploding himself in a glorious display of immense power to take out his enemy, he instead committed seppuku and then pulled out a sword that was made of pure magic, of all of his pure magical ability, and unleashed a devastating blow that erupted the ground beneath beneath him and the big bad that they were fighting. It was really good. It's pretty awesome. And
Right.
then we rolled for it. I rolled for it to see if I survived. I needed to get a 10 or higher, and it's only 2d6s. I need to get a 10 or higher to survive, and I rolled a 9.
Ah, right. And so you
Uh,
killed the monster, but
ended
died
up
in the act.
yeah. So the ultimate sacrifice, but I think story wise, it worked out amazing.
And so now
Because
you've rolled up a new character?
yes. And so I do have a new character. Her name is Frankie Clarence. Um, and she
Frank?
is
Like Frankie?
Frankie.
Okay,
Yes.
Frankie. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
I said
Uh,
like without an in, like Frankie.
yeah. She's freaky. No,
No.
Frankie. I'm a little congested. I'm sorry.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Frankie, she's pretty cool. She's kind of a know-it-all. Her biggest thing, so she was actually within the story to before this all happened. And she was actually the receptionist at Skeeter's apartment complex.
Oh,
And he
okay.
kind of had
Oh,
a
they're
thing
all
for her. They were
connected.
about the same age, so she was kind of like the love interest,
I see.
or so you thought. But in reality, Skeeter in the very first episode inadvertently killed somebody, and that person ended up being her brother.
So
So
she's coming for revenge?
she's been scheming his revenge, but now that he's dead, she's like, "Fuck." But she kind of had to change her heart a little bit of, because the other players were his accomplices or whatever, and she did a lot of snooping on her own, like behind the scenes. Nobody suspected her. She gained a lot of information. She knows everything that's going on. And one of Jacob's characters, is a part of this monster hunting group, and their whole thing is to keep it a secret, keep magic a secret, and slay monsters, protect people, whatever. Um, but since she knows all of that and she has all the information she needs to expose them, she basically threatens everybody, including the other players. Um, the other characters basically saying, "You're gonna help me get rid of these monsters, or I'm gonna expose everybody because
For
everybody has
what?
dirt on
For
them."
be Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah,
For
so
like being
one of
around the
Jacob's
person that happened to kill her brother.
that she would expose the police because he was a police officer, and they covered up his story like immediately.
Ah.
Um, and then Skeeter's dad, he was the chief of police, so he knew everything that was going on. So he's covered
Jeez,
up
this is a
everything as well.
well-connected character.
Yeah, that was the point. I wanted her to be involved or know everything going on and be involved with everything, and connect a lot of dots that I didn't already have, but
Mm,
also because I wanted to play somebody who was the opposite of my character of Skeeter. And Skeeter, his whole thing was he was the world's greatest private investigator, but in reality, he didn't do a lot of private investigating. He was like Raspor as a wizard. He
okay.
was always on the front lines. He should have stayed back and played support, but he was always throwing himself in the fray to protect other people.
Yeah.
Frankie,
You seem to have a style.
yeah, that's just me. It's just me.
That's the you influence bubbling
Yeah.
over there.
But Frankie is kind of the opposite. She usually would stay behind the scenes, gather information, get or not let people know that she knows anything going on. She's very vindictive. When she finally met the other characters and she confronted them, whatever, um, she basically had said that uh, Skeeter's death is sad, of course, but she wished that he died in a more gruesome way.
Nice.
Like, she's not a nice person, and I love it.
Did you get to spit on his body afterwards?
No, but I did go talk to his dad, well, his stepdad, and basically tell him, "Hey, I know what you did last summer," type shit.
Ah, I
But that's
see.
basically what she's doing with everybody now. But pretty much, she actually needs their help. It's one of those things where it's like, we both have, you're a means to an end to me. I need you to to deal with this, because pretty much, there was supposed to be 5 monsters throughout this series that we're playing, and we've defeated 4 of them. Technically, the big bad, or one of the big bad, who was
Right.
not included in those monsters because he was almost like the one controlling those monsters. So there's still one that's out there. And so each of them had a little gem, and whenever they all come together, something bad is going to happen. So now we have to go find and collect these gems and prevent disaster from happening.
A
And
gym.
I know
I,
the
I
location
I
of
thought you
most
were
of them.
talking like Pokemon.
No, 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 no,
Like
no,
they
no,
had a
no, no.
gym that they all worked out in
No, no,
together.
no, not gem as in like a Pokemon gem. Gem as in like a jewel, a
I see. I
crystal.
see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That makes more
Yeah.
sense.
And then also, upon also learning that Jacob's original character was the big bad the whole time. Well, as of like a couple sessions later, his butler is also corrupted by him, and he's in possession of 3 of them that we know of.
I
Uh,
see.
so we have to stop the butler, stop any other monsters that are going to be appearing. We also have to collect the gems and prevent the total destruction of, I guess, the town, if not more. And I clearly can't do that by myself, so I'm enlisting the help of the others.
Uh-huh. You're
And they're
like,
not very
you're
happy to help me, of course.
what's his name? Nick Fury. You're Nick Fury.
I am, yeah, I'm putting together a team.
Yeah.
We're trying to collect the
There's a
Infinity
monster coming.
Stones.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. All right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's gonna be fun.
I don't know if it was. Well, did we record last week?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Did you guys play last week and you died like on Friday or something like that?
I don't think it was Friday. Oh, so when it happened, I rolled like the day that it happened. It wasn't. It was before
Oh,
last recording.
that's right.
Um,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
a after the scene
yeah.
thing.
So like me and Anthony knew that I didn't make it, but the other two didn't. And we kept it secret if I made it or not. And Jacob at one point was like, "Oh," because the way I was talking, he was like, "Oh, you clearly survived." And I was like, "Yeah." And so I talked about it as if I was alive. We played it off as if I was alive. And so then Anthony is like, "Okay, what are we doing in the next like 3 weeks or whatever?" And we all kind of talk about what we're doing, recovering, and things like that. And then he's like, "Okay, cool. We're gonna start at the beginning of that time period." And at the very beginning, is my funeral.
Oh, that's a
Uh,
rough cutback.
yeah, and it really blindsided one of the players. She did cry, and I couldn't look at her because I felt so bad for lying to her.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, technically, I didn't lie, but I did. Because she asked me the day that we had rolled for it, after everything had happened, if I was alive, and I said I don't know. And apparently, apparently they had asked Anthony, and then he told them that I did in fact survive. So,
Oh, he
and
just straight
basically,
up lied to him?
yeah,
Oh.
and me and that player's character, Artemis, me and Artemis's characters are basically ended up becoming like really close best friends
I
up
see.
until this point. So, yeah,
That seems like something you can't lie about that. That's you hit him with the I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations. You'll just have
that's
to
why I
tune in
said I
next
don't
time to find
know.
out. Yeah, yeah,
But I feel like
exactly.
if we did that, it would be even more suspicious is the thing. But this isn't
Hmm.
the first time something like this has happened.
Oh, really?
Because
Okay.
with the whole thing of Jacob's character being revealed to be the big bad, was also a blindside to all of us.
Hmm.
Well, I guess there's only 3 of us, me and Artemis. Um, and so we both kind of got our feelings hurt a little bit. But Artemis was really really upset. I think Artemis does not like surprises too much.
And yet.
Yeah. It would be like uh if we were playing Anio and we were doing the Kine Islands, and in the end Evros was actually Raspor but from the future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "What?" And then Evros absorbs me into his essence. And now I'm
Damn. Yeah, yeah.
Evros.
Hey, he does use a lot of mind control.
Yeah.
I
When are we gonna get back into it? We should
that
play
that's
sometime.
actually a great question. I was considering. Oh my god. Well, okay. One of the reasons why I don't think I said it on camera, but I said that I quoted Lord of the Rings. It felt like too little butter spread over too much toast
You did say that earlier. I think
because
you said that at the beginning, didn't you?
I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly the problem. I don't know if I said it during this
Oh
or if
no,
I
I
said
think you
it
said it as
before.
soon as I came in,
Yep.
like came in the recording.
Because so having started a new campaign with some new people, right, running through this.
Because you hate us.
No, no, because the world deserves to be shared with other people
Fuck 'em.
in addition to you guys.
I guess,
But
whatever.
because of that, it sort of reignited my excitement for writing and and making forward progress on the world as a whole. And so I've been breakneck for like I don't even know how long now, months since we've started. Because we play every 2 weeks. and we've gone for, I think, 7 sessions. So 14 weeks, however many months that is. I think that's 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But I am tired. Specifically, I am tired of writing the arc that you guys have been playing or were
Oh.
playing. The like trapped in a city trying to solve a contagion thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I described this in the last time as I legitimately wrote out the players may not even know about this, and then went and referenced what I had written to see where you could have possibly learned that information, realized
Mm-hmm.
it was nowhere in there, and had to rewrite a chunk of it to make the entire plot make sense.
Is this for like our specific time or our specific game, or for like the new players?
That's for your specific game and any further games that are going to be played in here. I was like, I
Well,
have so
you know why? Because we were beta testers, so we
yeah.
didn't have all the information and
I
stuff
know, I
in the
know.
world built.
I feel like I so royally screwed you guys that I don't know if we could ever go back to it. But I
So
want
what
us
happens
to
to our characters?
because
Are they dead?
no, they were alive at the end. I'm like, okay, what I am intending on doing. Oh, okay, sorry, I got off on a tangent. The thought that I had in my mind was I'm gonna have both of my brothers in country this December, right?
Mm,
Plus, I may be able to get Chris as well, and we could all do like a weekend super session. I don't want to capitalize on everybody's time,
mm,
but I feel like with all of us we could get everybody together in one place. Maybe split the difference, or maybe I have to drive up and get you and bring you back down and then drive you back up again. But we could all get together in one place and have like a super session where
mm.
we just try and blitz the end of this campaign so that I could stop writing this cursed, interconnected political thriller and start working on something that is far more fun for my brain to think about. I have
Listen,
okay, so
you
like
wanted to you wanted to do an insurrection, followed by a pandemic.
I was too ambitious. I don't know if I was too ambitious, but I jumped too far from what I had written in the first campaign to where I'm working in the second campaign. Like the reason
Mm,
that we started playing was I was like, yeah, I wrote enough. I wrote enough that we could keep going and I'll just finish writing it as we go. And I was so incredibly wrong that we got to where I had written up to, and then it was like, now what?
mm.
And I had like run out of stuff. And so I had to, take a break and finally come back to it and go like, okay, this all needs to be reorganized. Stuff that happened earlier is now happening later. There are new events that actually tie together plot points
Mm.
cuz it it's like it's like, a spider web. I'm in the middle of this spider web going, it all makes sense to me, but I have polled the group. I have talked at length with Jackson about what had happened in that campaign, and
Mhm.
he had no idea what was going on. He
Oh
was like, I
no.
have a couple of theories. And I was like, well, that's not good because at this point in the campaign, you should have more solid facts.
Yeah, I mean, if I if I recall what I remember correctly, uh, all we really know is that for some reason these things were popping up, and then
Hmm.
there was the evil doctor who was using them to convert people into the shadow creature, contagion people,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
something like that. Or it was either that, or she was you trying to use that contagion virus to infect more people, control them, and next thing you know, Haplin's gone. I think it was Haplin.
Well,
Uh,
Haplin burned. That was historically that happened before, like at the early days of the contagion. So, like,
okay, that wasn't Haplin. It was the other place that's nearby. Because she said sick 'em on that other town,
yeah,
and
she
they
did unleash an army, but it was on the protectorate Lothor Legion that was outside of the city.
yeah, that's what I said.
Wiped those people
Uh,
out and then started marching west.
I also know that that town is aligned with Lothor because I believe the ex-wife is the daughter, is like one of the captains or something.
Yes, yes.
Uh, so then there's that going on,
This is what I'm
and
saying. It's all connected. All of it.
That's
But
your
when
own
I
fault.
cannot describe, I have to work far harder to actually describe how it's all connected in a
What you
way that
do,
makes sense to you
hear me
people.
out. Hear me out. All you have to do is write the stuff that's supposed to happen,
Mhm.
and then just make it happen. And say, oh, your character survived somehow. And then we'll move on to the next campaign.
That's something I've considered. I've considered calling it where it is, but I think there's more lore to uncover where we are. I mean,
Where we
there's like
are,
whole plot
is
points
the
that haven't
insurrection
happened.
happening. Or
Yes,
there's like a
yes.
coup happening.
The city is kind of even more in chaos. But the
Yeah.
problem is, there's not really a problem. The problem is I just need to go back and run you. I need to rewind you all like 6 sessions. I don't know how many sessions we actually got to, but I need to rewind the story to a certain point so that I can then continue forward with what I have newly written. But I
Mhm.
am not going to do that to you. I have an idea in mind that lets us continue forward. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, now we just need the people. We need the people all together. And now I'm running a second campaign, or, well, I'm running a campaign, which means that you guys would be the second campaign. And
Yes.
like I said, too little butter. I am too little butter right now.
Is it too little butter or is it too little toast?
It's too little butter. All right. I've been operating in a calorie deficit for the better part of 3 years. I can't keep going for
That's
much
why you're
longer.
skinny.
The end is in sight. All right. It is in sight.
Mhm.
Like less than a year. I no longer have a multi-year process. I have less than a year. But we are also going into November and then December. So historically, those are terrible months. Even though all the memes about Winter Arc resonate,
Mhm.
I need to hibernate and carve back up. Kind of the main things in my life that's going on right now.
I see.
But that is actually an hour. Now that the weekly I'm tired and the election has happened and D&D talk has ended,
Mhm.
we should probably call it there.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
But thanks for
Ooh.
listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope
I
you
blame
are
John.
not freaking out about the election, or if you are, that you can chill. Find chill. Find the pill that makes you chill.
All I'm saying is, never mind. This is gonna get us canceled. Like, actually.
Oh my lord! Okay, he's got violence in his heart,
I
everybody.
was just gonna say, find better aim. End it now. End it now. End it now. End it
Aya,
now. End it now. End it now.
what
End it
the